Welcome to True Tempo. It is not Tuesday. It's Wednesday. I didn't have the time. I just came home, or just a few days. I came home from Four Seasons in Bologna, and with family work so on, I didn't have time to do my usual Tuesday video. So now it's Wednesday. But I guess that's not a problem for any one of you. It certainly isn't for me, even though I like being regular. So yeah, this was a really cool weekend for me in all ways. I think it's the most kind of fluent and relaxed Four Seasons or trip in general I remember doing. Had a nice time with Andreas Petersen, Eko Baronin, who invited me to stay at his hotel. We had a lot of fun, as we always do. And I met some of the guys from his community. One of them I already know from Denmark, and the other one was a new friend from Italy. And we spent a lot of time in the evenings. In the day, a lot of Magic was played from Friday to Sunday. Team trios Friday, me with Andreas and P. Gunty. Andrea Piemonte is the real name. The modern and pre-modern crusher. And Saturday was the side event, legacy side event for me, and Sunday the legacy main event. And well, the team trios was it was a learning experience. I think the communication wasn't exactly perfect. I'm I have a really strong weakness of losing focus easily, and uh, and I guess also with having confidence in my own place. So when I'm discussing with someone, I can easily get distracted, and I felt like I wasn't playing at my best during the team trios. I think, well, if I'd played just a bit better, we had, I say we, but piloting my deck, that was an easy 4-1 and maybe even a 5-0 at disposal. But it turned out to be a 3-2 record, and that was also the record of the team. But it should have been a bit better, I think. But that's okay. That was a learning experience. Like communicating in team trios is something else if you want to be really really good. But the most important thing was to have fun, and we had fun. So no worries. So Saturday, yeah, I'm getting maybe a bit ahead of myself, but in this today's video, I'm not gonna play games. I'm just gonna recap the weekend, and I'm gonna just jump to the really nice conclusion, which was top 8ing the Sunday event. This is the post from Twitter from Four Seasons. That's me, as you know. I think you can see. And so that was an awesome end to the weekend. But before getting to that, I just want to recap what I want to do in this video. Talk about the weekend and the deck, which we have in front of us, and some moments from the tournaments. I also want to mention that this week, starting today, I'm going live with my Patreon. This was already planned, as I've been saying in my videos for the last month. And now the contents is a bit changed because I'm going to add a tournament report as the first article to the Patreon. Where I'll be going more in depth with the trip and the games and the deck. But especially the kind of tournament report in the old fashioned way, like 10, 15, 20 years ago. That was the tradition of writing tournament reports with anecdotes, live anecdotes from the road, and that's what I want to do as well. So, yeah, I want to go back to Saturday, the side event. That was a 6 round Swiss, no top 8. I went 4-1-1. had a draw against Cloudpost in really tight games where he managed to avoid death narrowly, and then in the end I was happy that time was called because he was taking over the game. But really sweet games we had, and I lost to Jund. Um, Jund is not a deck that you see, but this person was happy to play his own brew, and it was filled with good cards, especially good cards against tempo. Questing Druid, Barrogoyf, Choke, Abrupt Decay, Edicts, just a lot of nice stuff in the Jund colors. And I think maybe there was a moment where I decided to go for Cutter instead of Murktide, and was punished because he had Decay. I thought he would maybe be holding Edicts. He had already played a Decay, stuff like that. But I lost, and it felt like a tough matchup. But I was really happy about the 4-1-1. I got some like some winnings, like a coupon that I could use, and I got this. Let me see if you can see it. This nice Alpha Island. I don't have a lot of, I don't have any pimp cards really because I never had the money to afford it. But I do like the um, old cards, old black border cards. So an Alpha Island, I think, is a sweet addition that I could play with on Sunday. Um, yeah, Sunday that was a 9-round event. Again, no top 8 because it takes too much time. So this turned out to be my second top 8 at Four Seasons, and the last one I had, the first one, that was, I believe, the last time they played top 8. Um, and usually people would just want to split because it was like late already on Sunday. But that tournament, one player didn't want to split, so that was a bit complicated. And since then, I think they've been saying that it's like a forced split on Sunday. Maybe I don't know if Modern is the same thing on Saturday, but yeah, I chose to play this deck all weekend, and I've been playing this on the channel. So if you've been watching the videos, I think you have an idea of why I like it. Let me just show you the matchup spread that I had on Sunday. So these were my matchups, and so I think you can say I didn't have very tough pairings, but kind of medium. I'd say that the two Demirs are tough matchups, where I'm not favored. Jeskai Wizards is perceived as a tough matchup, but I'll go into why I don't think that's the case. Lance is a very tough matchup. And then Affinity is close. I couldn't tell you if there's an actual favorite here, but I know it's very tough. I think for both opponents, it's a scary matchup. But Show and Tell is favored, I think, for Izzet, and the Mirror. Well, it's not the exact mirror because they play at Hexing Squelcher main. I think that's slightly in my favor, but of course it's very close. So yeah, I lost to Lance, Jose, who came in top 8 as well. You had 2 Lance in the top 8, and I feel like yeah, Lance is just the secret best deck of the format. Of course, it has some tough matchups, but it's the best deck that can, like, it grinds the best, and it can kill really fast. It has plenty of solutions to stuff, and I just think it's very tough to beat. So, like, okay, before going into some of these pairings, let me just explain the final choices of the deck list. I went back to one island. Basically, I made a like a foolproof version of the list. This is often what I do, but also because I have good advice from Andreas, who is really good at going back to the core and dissuading playing fun offs or kind of risky playing doing risky choices in deck building. So while I knew that the second island was probably a bad idea, I still kind of wanted to do it. And after talking with him, I saw the reasoning behind not doing it. So yeah, thanks to a good friend, I played a better list. I'm pretty sure that you don't need the second island, and it's just gonna be risky when you want to play Chandler, Bolt, Pyroblast, and so on. This list is not aiming to be able to really beat lanes, but I added a price of progress since basically this is the flex slot. The rest is to me pretty set in stone with the philosophy that I have going into building this deck. And there was kind of one slot left, and Price can steal games against tough matchups like Lance and Eldrazi and Beanstalk. And it's quite nice to have just one when you have Stormchaser's talent to bring it back. So that was the choice, but it could easily be. Sorry, there's a mistake here. I didn't play 3 consigns. Hold up. There you go, fixed. I played a Hydroblast. But this price of progress could easily be a third consign or a Graph-Digger's Cage. I think those are the cards I would suggest or consider going forward, or just to keep it at price. But yeah, I think this is the best Izzet deck, and I think that is, like, I say that with a high degree of confidence. That this is the best build of Izzet, and I also think that um, it's very different from Dimir, so you can't exactly compare. But I think it's good enough that it's not an easy choice which deck you want to play if you're in the Daze camp. Like Dimir is viewed as the best tempo mid-range Daze deck, and in the format, a lot of people play it, and it is super solid. But this deck has other advantages. Where Dimir has, awesome card quality in Bowmasters, Tameo, and Bergoyf, for instance. Here we have a lot of flexibility in Bolt, in Pyroblast, in Boomerang Basics that let us play the game against almost all kind of opposition. Chalice is one of the tough cards pre-board, of course, but basically the format has like flexible threats, and when that's the case, it's nice to have flexible answers like Sneak and Show boarding in Hexing Squelcher. It's really nice that we play Bolt, which is kind of the flexible card of old because it can kill a creature or go to the face, and that's really nice that we can keep in removal and it won't be dead because it can help us finish the opponent a turn earlier or something if they don't present Hexing Squelcher. And the same goes for people playing Tameo, like control decks or the Dimir decks. Bolt is just nice, very nice to have against Tameo, but it can also go to the Dome. Pyroblast similarly can handle the Tameos of the world and the Murktides, but also the Force of Wills, Thunder Trap trainers, whatever. It's super flexible. So that's like some big advantages to Izzet, I think. Boomerang Basics is really sweet as well. I think tempo decks love to have this kind of effect, the bounce effect, just so you can get in for the last point of damage against whatever, whether you're bouncing a creature or an ensnaring bridge. It's super flexible, and even though the main purpose is to bounce Stormchaser's talent, of course, it really serves a purpose on the other side of the board as well, and that makes for a deck which is good at grinding at advantage with this combo, but also a really aggressive deck. So that's a, I think, beautiful combination, and I think yeah, I'm very confident that this deck is underplayed in the meta game. But we'll see. We'll see if it stays at low numbers or not. I certainly will be looking forward to playing it going forward. And yeah, the sideboard has a lot of standard choices. The big one that is not standard is not having any graveyard interaction. And well, I made this decklist for a paper tournament. If I was playing like challenges, which I don't have the time to do, I would for sure play a Graphiticus Cage instead of a Price, and I might play a second graveyard interaction card instead of a third Force of Negation. But it also depends if Dimir Reanimator becomes increasingly popular. But the first one is worth it, and the second one might be as well. But regardless, I really like having a bunch of Force of Negations against Show and Tell and whatever Storm deck you have around. It is very, very like decent against Oops to have Force of Negations. It's not awesome, but we can get there, and consigns are quite good as well. So yeah, it's for a paper metagame. This is I think that's fine, very fine to not play any graveyard interaction. But for Magic Online, it's a good idea. But I would, in that case, prefer Graphiticus Cage and not Surgical. Um, and yeah, at least one cage, maybe two, or one cage and one Surgical to have kind of the instant speed number pretty high. Because they want to go off turn one, and Oops is the main graveyard deck, of course. Yeah, so that's the list. I'm gonna go more in depth. I'm gonna do a primer pretty soon, which will be on my Patreon, and I'm gonna do a tournament report before that. But on my Patreon, there is already a the beginning of my Tempo textbook, which is kind of the introduction to playing Tempo. To those of you who don't have a lot of experience and want to read kind of an A to Z breakdown, it's going to be a document that will progressively be written. Every month I'll add pages, and it's starting at 10 pages at the moment. So if that is something you'd like to read, it's on my Patreon on the Regent tier, which is what is it? $8, I think I said it at. I've been saying 10, but I lowered the price. So let me just mention some of the matchups. So yeah, Jeskai Wizards, that was really nice. I loved that those games. I won 2-0, and in both of those games, Stormchasers and Boomerang was just I feel like I was better at grinding than he was. Grinding at advantage. At the end of the game, he had plenty of lands, and I had more cards than him. Stormchaser's talent against a deck like that is grinding at advantage when you bounce it, but also when you activate class 2. And I get back Boomerang Basics most of the time, so I can keep on going. And that's just an awesome engine. It takes up a lot of mana, but against a deck like that, you can afford it from time to time. Of course, Cutter is awesome as well. And post board, I get rid of all my Wastelands and a few other cards, and my deck just becomes full of relevant cards that is very tough for them to handle, because they'll be drawing too many lands, and yeah, they don't have inevitability. He did show me after the game that he played Flage, but he didn't draw it. That would have been really good because that's kind of the Euro uh, of Jeskai, but you don't usually see it, and I think it's, yeah, if you have to play Flage to beat creature decks, then that deck is not good enough. But I think that deck is very good against Dimir and normal Delver, but I really do believe that this version of Tempo is has too much of a grinding aspect, that you can really call yourself favored on Jeskai Wizards. Another interesting matchup was against Izzet Tempo, the version with 3 Hexing Sculpture main. I really don't like that, and the deck becomes more heavy. They also tried to get me by surgicaling my Volcanics in both games. It worked in game 2, it didn't work in game 3, and yeah, it's not a strategy that I'll advise anyone to go for when we have a basic island and Thundering Falls in the deck. But yeah, this is kind of a more lean version because we don't play these Squelchers. The Squelchers replace 1-drops, either Delver or Stormchaser's talent. So yeah, it's good if you are facing Chalice, but otherwise I don't think it's awesome. I had another situation come up where I was quite lucky against Affinity because they went turn 1. I started turn 1 go, kept up a fetch land, and on their turn 1 they emptied their hand with Pinnacle Emissary and Emery, and then on my turn I could Pyroclasm, and that was the game. So that was a very good showing for Pyroclasm, which I bought in that matchup. It's not always going to be good, but it is going to be good against a big portion of their deck. So it's cool to have that available. And yeah, if you want to like get more anecdotes about the games and the plays, check out the tournament report that I'll be writing for my Patreon. And yeah, I think I'll finish with one anecdote from the side event, which was really nice. I played against the Besiege Storm, and it was kind of like 3 games that told a story all together. And what I liked about it was how, this is my interpretation, but how my demeanor made it tough for them to make the correct plays. And basically, whether I was winning or losing, as they were going off, I had the same demeanor. And in game 1, I didn't have anything. I made them go do all of their tricks towards Tendrils of Agony. Then game 2, they once again had the kill. I had 1 card left. It was a consign to memory, and they could have gone for like, they could have spent 2 minutes to go through the graveyard to play a duress on me, but I think they had the feeling that I didn't have anything, or they were a bit lazy, so they went directly to Tendrils of Agony, and so I won with my consign. It has to be said that they had resolved Veil of Summer, so they felt quite safe. But yeah, that doesn't work against consign, and that really took them by surprise, and they were quite mad at themselves for being lazy. Then for game 3, the same kind of situation came up where they're going off. I have 1 card, and they're at 9. And I have 2 DRCs with Delirium attacking. So they don't know it, but they're dead if they pass the turn. And they go for a combo turn, and they can either uh, go for a line that loses to Consign once again, or they can go for Ad Nauseam. And with the same demeanor as before, I think they felt the fear. They had the fear of Consign, so they went for Ad Nauseam, which was perfect with my Bolt. So I could kill them once they had finished drawing cards of Ad Nauseam with the Bolt. And that was kind of games I shouldn't win, but like combination of luck and not representing that I had nothing or that I had something made it tough for them to play perfectly. So I was quite proud of that game. Special kind of part of paper, like the way you present yourself, which is not on Magic Online in the same way at all, but it's part of paper. Yeah, I think that's the last anecdote. So before I finish the video, let me just recap what I am putting on my Patreon in the 2 tiers. In the Chandler tier, which is $4, I'm putting a sideboard map for this deck and my Dimir Nethergoyf Architects of Will deck, which I also think is quite sweet still. Just a simple sideboard map. In my Regent tier for $8, I with the same sideboard map, I add a few lines on each matchup, things to be wary of, things to pounce on, like important cards, important strategies. Still like short version, so you can have it in your pocket at your local tournament and just read it real quick. I'm also in the Regent tier writing the Tempo textbook. As I said, it's 10 pages, and I'll add pages every month. I'll do a tournament report for this month, and then next month I'm doing an article on paper tournament mentality, your mindset, like having a good mindset for a long day of Magic or a long weekend. And every month I'll do a column. I'm also going to do videos with opening hand analysis post board against different matchups from the perspective of one of the tempo decks that I propose. And soon I'll be doing a primer on this deck. Just going in depth on why this is the best Izzet tempo deck in the current metagame. And I believe that is it. I'm gonna add a link. There is a link to my Patreon in the description of the video, and so there you can also go and read what's in each tier. And yeah, I hope I see you there. And thank you for watching. See you next week for some actual gameplay. Bye.